And before I move into like the things that I considered, I'm going to say that I chose Miami University, and honestly, I have never had any regrets as to why I chose Miami University. Hello people, welcome back to another video. If you are just coming across my video for the very first time, welcome. I'm so glad that you came here. My name is Ola, and on this channel I provide tips on how you can study abroad, ranging from the application process up until when you get your visa and till when you move to the US. So welcome, be my guest. And to be my guest, to join the family, all you need to do is press the red button down below to subscribe. Also make sure that you turn on the notification bell so that you can get notified every time I have a new video coming up. Trust me, on this channel there are a lot of interesting content, so if you have the time, also scroll through the channel and you might find your questions answered. Okay. Anyways, from the title, we already know what we'll be talking about today. Honestly, this video is long overdue. Like, it is long overdue. I should have spoken about this video since last year, but I don't know what happened. Like, I just kept postponing it. But anyways, we are going to talk about that today. And yeah, from the title, you already know I'll be walking you through why I chose to come to Miami University. And if you've not seen my admission story, I said it last year when I recorded the admission story, that I got admission into about 5 universities with full funding. So, this is very, like when you have just one school with full funding, it might be easy for you to make decision. But when you have like 2, 3 schools with full funding, how do you take how do you take yourself to that place where you are able to make decision on, okay, this is the school I want to attend. And before I move into like the things that I considered, I'm going to say that I chose Miami University, and honestly, I have never had any regrets as to why I chose Miami University. So just putting that out there, and I'm going to share with you some of the tips that I considered. So um, the first thing that I considered was, honestly, I asked God, because first off, I'm going to reiterate that I'm a Christian, and like my relationship with God is very important to me. So when I got those multiple offers, the first thing I did was to ask God, and I'm like, okay, God, which one do you want me to accept? Where do you want me to go? And yeah, and Miami just kept coming into my mind, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe this is where God is leading me. So that's the first thing. So if you are a Christian or whatever religion it is that you believe, or whatever religion you are, just make sure you are praying and you are asking God for direction, because trust me, sometimes we might try to do things in our own way or do things with our own knowledge, but honestly, it cannot take us that far. But asking a supreme being, because God honestly knows today, He knows tomorrow, and He also knows yesterday. So He sees the future, and He can lead you aright. Honestly, I'm not on this channel to preach, but that's the number one tip: ask God. Then the number two thing is, you also want to consider the money. You want to consider the money. So in my own case, I did not consider the money because, like I said, all the schools gave me full scholarship, right? But of course, some of them had more money than others. So for me, I didn't consider the money because, like I said, the first factor was like the most important thing to me. God led me towards Miami, and I'm just like, okay, I'm going to go to Miami, because if I was actually going to look at the money, I would have gone for another school, because there were about 2 other schools that were offering me more than what Miami was offering me. But I decided to go to Miami, like I shared earlier, because I prayed about it. But in your case, you might also want to consider the money, particularly if money is more important to you. And of course, it's not bad if money is important to you. Everybody wants money. Everybody wants their bills to get paid. So you might want to consider the money. You might want to consider the cost of living. Cost of living in the institution. Where is the school located? What is the cost of living? Typically here in Oxford is a community college, and the cost of living is not too much of a big deal. So it was easily livable for me, even with the money or the small stipend I was getting paid. So it was not difficult for me to say, okay, I want to go to that institution, because even though the money they were paying was smaller than compared to other schools, I also kind of like looked at it that, okay, the cost of living the money that I would be getting is also livable. So yeah, also consider cost of living, consider where the school is located, consider the crime rate. Particularly the location of the school is very important. And I know majority of us are going for visa interview and would be asked, oh, why did you choose this institution? Or why are you going to whatever your school is located? So kind of do a little bit of research. And there's a way you can compare schools online. Even after God told me Miami, honestly, you know how, your mind is not just settled on particular things. I still went on, I was still comparing schools, particularly all the schools I got interview that I got admission from. I still went on, I was comparing schools, compare this school to this school, compare this location to this location, just to find out the crime rate and how vibrant it is, or how easy it is that I will make connection with people. And making connection with people, this should be your priority if community is very important to you, right? For me, community was important to me, and I kind of like researched it. And even before I came to Miami, I already met like a network of Nigerians before I came over to Miami. So that's like the number 2 tip, jumbled into like a lot of information. Then the number 3 thing is you also want to consider the reputation of the institution, particularly, how is the institution doing? You also need to consider this, particularly when you are going to the embassy. You need to also consider the reputation of the institution. So consider the reputation of the institution, consider the reputation of your program. And I'm going to tell you that the fact that a school is top choice does not mean the school is good for your program. So you can, look for, okay, like this school, the program in this school, or maybe let me use, for example, the program at Miami University versus the program at Kent State University. And you can walk side by side and see, okay, this is like a detailed comparison. Which do I really want to go for? So also make sure that you are looking at the reputation of the department, reputation of the program, and reputation of the school in general. And another thing I would also want you to consider is, how do they care about you? Honestly, aside from the fact that I asked God, honestly, if we were to even remove the God factor, I feel like I would have chosen Miami still, because for me, like, they just showed me that they really cared about me. Okay, so I know I said it in the admission story that the whole first admission happened during COVID. And honestly, Miami kept following up. They were asking me how I was doing, if I was impacted by the whole COVID experience and all. And honestly, I just felt that genuine care. And I'm like, okay, if I choose to go to this institution, I can see that they genuinely care about me. And particularly, it was like my first time leaving my country to go to another country. So I'm like, I want to be in a place that show that they care about me, and not just care about me, but they also show me that they care about me. I want to be in a place where I'm included. I want to be in a place where I feel welcome. And yeah, like with everything I said, they kept reaching out, asking me how I was doing. And I'm just like, yeah, this is just the place for me. And also another thing to also consider, aside from, seeing if they care about you, is also seeing, I mean, if particularly if you are interested in the ratio of white people versus black people, you can also check that what is the ratio of the school, what is the percentage of like black people that are attending this school, what is the percentage of people of color that are attending this school, what is the percentage of white people that are attending this school. And if you are not interested in going to a predominantly white institution, that might be like a red flag for you. Particularly if you are not interested in going to a predominantly white institution, for instance, schools like Miami will be a red flag for you, because Miami is a predominantly white institution. So looking at those institutional type, what type of institution is this institution? Is it a PWI? Am I comfortable with being in a predominantly white institution? Is it a historically black college? Which, or in that type of institution, there will be a lot of black people. And is it an institution that is serving minoritized group? Is it an Hispanic serving institution? So you should look at the institution type, because this would also aid your decision making. And also, when it also comes to type of institution, you can also look at it. Is this like a 4-year institution? Is this like a research institution? If you are very much interested in research, you might want to pick an institution that is more focused on research to an institution that is more focused on maybe sports or whatever. So looking at that, okay, what type of institution is this institution? Is it a research focused? Is it sports focused? Is it a liberal arts, and so on and so forth? And you also want to look at the faculty to staff ratio, or to students ratio. For me, when I was choosing institution, this was very important to me, because when I went to undergrad, in my department, in my class, we had about 500 plus students. And for me, I'm like, I don't want to deal with this again. I don't want to ever deal with this again. So for me, it was very important. I was also looking at the faculty to students ratio. How many students are in my class? How many people would I have in my cohort? How many staffs are there that are available? So it's important that you do all of these. And yeah, if you still have, issues or challenges with, making decision, and you need like a second opinion, feel free to put it in the comment section or write to me. You already know where my email is. My email will definitely be in the description box. So you can write to me if you are still having challenges with making decisions. And yeah, so these are the tips. And if you utilize all of these tips, trust me, you would be able to come to a conclusion of, okay, this is the school I want to go to. And something else I'm going to say, particularly when it comes to multiple admission, I'm going to say no school has it all. Honestly, no school has it all. Like everything that I said, Miami does not have it in terms of funding. Like I said, there are other schools that offered me more money. But all of those other factors that I listed were more important to me. So I chose them over the money. So no school has it all. So when you're making those decisions, write all the schools down. Write a list of their pros, a list of their advantages, and a list of their disadvantages, and pick the school that the advantages outweighs the disadvantages. I hope that is clear. So yeah, thank you so much for watching to this part of the video, and please do not forget to give my video a thumbs up. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Do not forget to share my video, and do not forget to comment down below. Till I see you in my next video, stay safe, and yeah, I will catch you all later. Bye.